Finally, progress is plain to see at Ground Zero. At 70 tons apiece, the base columns of the first building to rise are in the ground, and the first 3 floors are taking shape.
This is no longer a pit. It is, in fact, a vibrant construction site.
One World Trade Center will be New York's tallest building at 1,776 feet. It's set to be finished by 2014, some 8 years late. What's taking so long?
After the event, after that day of tragedy, there was a rush to create dates, and there were probably some unreasonable dates.
The Port Authority is the public agency that owns Ground Zero and is rebuilding about 60% of the 16-acre site. The other 40% is in the hands of developer Larry Silverstein, who's supposed to put up 3 other towers. 2 of those aren't even started.
People look at this and they want this rebuilt. The fact that it's not, I think, is a national disgrace.
He blames Port Authority delays in getting his portion of the pit ready for construction. By the time it was ready, he says, the recession had dried up private financing. The 2 sides are now in arbitration to map a way forward.
All I want to do is do what the world expects us to do, and that's rebuild Ground Zero.
Whatever eventually happens with rebuilding Ground Zero, filling this open pit isn't the only piece of unfinished business from 9/11. What about capturing the mastermind responsible for creating it?
Bin Laden is alive. He is being hunted, but he has not been found.
And on this 8th anniversary, experts explain that the same way they have for years. Osama bin Laden's suspected hiding place on the Pakistani-Afghan border gives him perfect cover.
If you combine the highest peaks of the Rocky Mountains in a space the size, if not larger, of Texas, where we do not have control of the territory, and where any valley, any village, any compound can hold 1 man, you're talking about a needle in a haystack.
Another question rooted in this pit is the condition of close to 20,000 people who lived near, worked at, or responded to Ground Zero and reported respiratory symptoms soon after 9/11.
The majority of folks are still affected on a daily level.
They're being treated for asthma, sinus problems, and now even post-traumatic stress.
We're going to need continued funding for 20 or 30 years more so that we can really describe and understand what happens after individuals have massive exposures to all sorts of different chemicals and compounds.
Questions for the future on this day devoted to looking back. Jim Axelrod, CBS News, New York.